Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Sara. And is it time to panic yet?
Good question.
How's it going, everyone? We just watched the U.S. Women's National Team versus Germany, and
We lost.
Oh. Sad day. But I will say, I think a lot of people were shocked by that outcome because Germany is such a strong team.
Yeah.
And I think that because the United States have not played such quality opponents in the last year, when they're playing these quality teams, that, these things, it's not shocking at this point,
Right.
So that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about the game that was just last night. We're recording this after the game, but this will probably go out on Friday, maybe Saturday, but hopefully Friday. We're not going to talk too much about gameplay or tactics, but we're going to talk about, kind of the feeling, how we felt about it.
Our hopes and dreams and our feelings.
But, going into this match, we were really pumped. I know, everyone knew it was going to be a tough match for the U.S. Women's National Team because Germany they came in second behind England at the Euros, These European teams are just, outperforming everyone around the world. Every single region. It's European teams are the stars.
I mean, you see how Germany performed in Pitch Perfect. What was it, 3? Did
they win?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think so. I don't even remember.
So they're tough competitors. And going to the game again, a lot was always made about the lineup. And, we saw that Pugh was back in there. And Alex Morgan, they weren't there for the games at Wembley. So, it was good to see them because, they are goal-scoring threats at all times.
Yes.
But also going in on the Germany side, everyone talks about Alex Popp. She's amazing, did amazing things at the Euros. She was in there starting. But Lena Oberdorf, which is like the best young player in the world, one of the best players in the world, did not start. She did come into the game, but she did not start. It wasn't Germany's number one squad.
500 players.
United States isn't going against their absolute best. But starting out I guess we'll start for the first 10 minutes because the first 10 minutes is really where Germany, I think, really shined throughout the whole match. So the first 10 minutes were so fast paced. It was Germany,
keep up.
America, Germany. But Germany really seemed to be the more aggressive team at that point.
Yeah.
About after that 10 minutes, it kind of leveled out a little more. I will say in the 14th minute, there was a call that was called offsides for the USA. I remember, the big controversy in Wembley where the goal was considered offsides when a lot of people say it wasn't. A lot of people did say it was, and somebody actually sent us a video that says, it kind of did look offsides, but, that's besides the point. But this ball, I forget who they even said were offsides, and the commentator said none of the players that they said were offsides. And I'm bringing that up again because that can kind of deflate you. And the commentators for the United States, they're pretty open. They said, no, I believe that to be a wrong call. And I don't know if that's common with all the other commentators around the world, but I know the American commentators will say what they truly think. Then there was a shot at the 18th minute. It was a shot. And how this ball did not go in, I think it really showed why Casey Murphy was out there. Because there's no way this ball didn't go in.
Right, yeah. It was hard to follow even where the ball went.
Yeah, there was a replay at the very end of the game. Sarah, I don't think you saw it, but she kick saved it, and then it went behind her body, and then she grabbed it. The flag was up, so it wouldn't have counted anyway, but it doesn't even matter at that point because that was such an amazing save.
Yeah.
And then in the 33 minute, there was a really... Lindsay Horan should have scored here, I think. It was a header, and it was so close. She really went for it. So at 33 minutes, Lindsay Horan came very close to scoring. Then, in just a minute later, Rose Lavelle came very close to scoring. I'm not sure how this ball didn't go in either, where it was just at the goalpost. It bent down. I'm not sure how they didn't go in either. So
I think the ball was possessed or something.
So 33 minutes, they almost score. 34 minutes, there's magnets in the ball where it doesn't want to go in.
Magnets. Or opposite magnet.
Even though Germany looked good, United States, they could have scored a few. They came very close to scoring some goals, and they looked really good. It looked like they had a good setup. It looked like they had a good plan, but nothing was falling into place. So I want to talk about this moment, and I want to see what everyone thinks about this moment. In the 43rd minute, there was they're calling it like a no call. So There was a moment where Lindsay Horan has the ball. Then Alex Popp goes in, gets a leg on her, and Lindsay goes down. And some people are saying that should have been a foul call. It was in the box, so it would have been a PK. And Lindsay was pretty stunned. And the commentators, again, said they think that should have been a call.
Yeah.
And what do you guys, who saw that? What did everyone think? Fox Soccer tweeted it, and then it asked, what did everyone think? And then most people are saying, no, it should have been a call. Ref was blind. The ref should have been a penalty, foul, clear and obvious foul. Only correct call is PK. Terrible no call. And then some people are saying the opposite. Dive. They thought it was a dive. Some people said somebody said clean, that it was a clean tackle. Someone goes,
nah, there's a small contact, but she overreacted. That's why you get your A up and play. That's why you get your ass up and play.
But some people did say clean. So, I mean, the commentators, obviously they're American, but I mean, who thought that was that another call that just said, the USA not going to break?
No, I don't think that was clean at all.
Okay.
That was a dirty.
But I would say I think 75% of people thought that should have been, because I think about other calls that have been called, depending on the referee, depending on the day. Some referees are going to call that a foul, some aren't. And that's, I guess, the way the game works.
Yeah, I guess so.
So what did everyone think about that moment too? So going to halftime, it is 0-0. Then in the 50th minute, I believe this was the 50th minute, there was a corner kick. And this shot by Lindsay Horan was gorgeous. If that would have gone in the 50th minute, the crowd would have erupted.
God, that was hot.
It was
that was amazing.
It was so nice. I mean, those are the kind of the moves that you dream about, as a kid.
Yeah, like, how do you even, I know they are professionals, so they time it and everything, but how would I wouldn't even,
Right. Unfortunately, right after that miss by Lindsay, that kind of led up to a breakaway for Germany, and they scored. The initial breakaway, they shot, and it did not go in. It was a great save by Casey Murphy. I mean, it was a great save, right? And then Casey Murphy got right back up, and then they shot again, and the way it tinked off the goalpost and then went in.
Well, it hit the goalpost, it then hit Casey Murphy. Technically, I think it was an own goal.
So
Talk
there
about a backstab, right?
Yeah.
Thanks, ball.
That initial save was really nice, though. So, I mean, there's a lot of takeaway from that as being really nice. But then at the end of the day, 1-0. Germany wasn't looking great. United States was they had control of the ball. They were, had a lot of the possession. Germany wasn't even looking great at that moment either. But just goes to show you, it doesn't matter if they're looking great. All it needs is one breakaway, and that is it.
Yeah.
Then in the 72nd minute, Megan Rapinoe comes in. So a lot of cheers. Everyone was happy to see her. But she was a factor in this game because
she scored.
It was a great setup too, because Germany had the ball. Alex Morgan kept that play going. She didn't give up.
Beautiful.
And then
Beautiful.
Right to Pinoe, right in.
Yes.
And at that moment, it was the 84th minute. I was thinking, okay, this is going to be a tie. Okay, this is going to be a draw. Win is what we want, but we'll take a draw at this point. But that was not to be, because just a few minutes later, they scored again. And all it took was this one breakaway for them to score. 88th minute. I don't know. Some of the defenders looked like they were half running. I saw a comment like that. And that's all it took. And Germany scored. I mean, heartbreaking goal at the 88th minute. So heartbreaking to be scored on that late in the game, when you think, okay, you finally just, squeaked out a tie,
Mm-hmm.
and it goes right in. And that was it. And that was the game pretty much. I think the United States didn't play bad, though. That was the takeaway. They didn't play bad.
But a lot of people were saying that their midfield is where they, suffered.
Yeah. But I'm going to read some comments that got a lot of likes on their Instagram.
That second goal from Germany almost seemed like U.S. didn't care. People were, literally walking while Germany easily scored. Very frustrating.
I mean, that got a lot of likes.
Third consecutive loss. Clearly, Vlatko isn't working, and just adding talented youth wasn't the solution. More experienced players plus youth plus Vlatko out needs to happen.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people said that, people were blaming the vets. Now the transition to the youth was too quick, and so,
I mean, the U.S. women's national team they've lost 3 straight games for the first time since 1993.
That's a wild stat. That is a wild stat.
That's history you don't want to make.
Yeah.
Just accept the truth. These European teams are just better, and we won't win the World Cup. Horan looks lost. Our forwards can't finish in the final third. Our defense really isn't that great besides Gurma. There's no control in the midfield at all. Some players are just not as good as they used to be. Now get a new coach.
Then I saw this interesting comment. I saw this from Steph Yang, and they're a soccer writer, insider, and I thought this was an interesting comment.
I've talked about it a little bit before, but this U.S. women's national team has felt for a while that it's not mean enough. Missing some of the classics, she got that dog players like O'Hara, but also some of the newer players just don't feel like they'd punch your grandma to win the ball.
Yeah, and I saw that a
True.
lot, saying some of these players don't have that really eat or be eaten attitude. That it's kind of the classic players are like, I don't want to say do anything on, to get the ball or whatnot, kind of the more aggressive style.
They're just nice. Leave them alone.
That kind of thought where some of these players don't even feel like they're fighting for their spot on the team because they already feel like they have it kind of thing. So it's like, is that a problem too, that these players are not, ferocious enough? Maybe that's an issue. These players, some of them just need to be ferocious and they're not.
U.S. women's national team's 71-game home unbeaten streak is snapped. It was the second longest in team history. U.S. has lost 3 straight games for the first time since 1993. The U.S. has conceded multiple goals in 3 straight games for the first time since 2001.
Yeah, and you know what? I think it is kind of just an adjustment for the United States to be so dominant for so long, and it's just not anymore, And that's an adjustment I think every team goes through at some point that is dominant, and it's just it's just crazy that it's been so long that United States has been so dominant. Now teams are not scared of the U.S. pretty much at all. They're like, oh, we could beat them. Oh, this is and also for the fans, it's not shocking when they lose anymore at this point, 3 in a row. It's just that's almost like, I hate to say we're used to it now.
Take those words back.
But it's and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think it's different. And obviously, like we read a couple comments, some people are still saying they're not happy with Vlatko. But, he's not going anywhere before the World Cup. I couldn't imagine him going anywhere before the World Cup. And even this game, the United States didn't play bad. I think they seem to have a good tactical plan at points. It's just not enough. And like I said, maybe it's just they don't have that killer instinct that the old U.S. women's national teams used to have. I read a comment saying, Carly Lloyd basically gave up her family to play soccer, and because she was so committed on winning.
Oh, maybe that's what we needed to do.
I know, but do you need that? That's the thing that's a little scary. You know what I mean?
Maybe they need to go to boot camp, teach them how to be intimidating, scary in your face.
Couple miscues by Mal Pugh, I thought. Couple goals she could have shot at, but she passed. And this is kind of wild, but I was telling Sara, we kind of joked about it. It's almost like, okay, they lost again. It's getting, I hate to say it's getting easier now to accept these losses.
You're not as depressed for...
I know, that's true. But next game is on the 13th, I believe. So if they don't win that one, this is really not going to be good. And this is really going to be depressing. But what did everyone think? What was your main takeaway from this game? Did you think the United States looked good? Just no killer instinct? Do you think just the couple balls that Germany went in that just looked really good and they just happened to score? What do you think? 2-1, Germany. And then also, what did you think? Do you think it would have been a different game if that call would have been called a PK? They would have scored. They would have been up 1. That could have changed the whole dynamic of the game.
Yeah.
So... What does everyone think? Questions, comments down below. We will be back after the next game because we are definitely looking forward to that. Okay, talk to everyone later. Have a great night.
Bye.